Today, we're going to be talking about another professional that you need in your team, and that is a property manager.
As a single professional, I had debt and no savings after my divorce. I always wonder how I can start investing in real estate to secure my future. I studied programs that gave me all the benefits of investing in real estate. Some claim I could start with no money, but I could not find one that gave me the practical, actionable steps I needed. As a wealth advisor, I've met people that own real estate but weren't ahead financially. They were rich, but they weren't wealthy. Then I finally realized that there was one vital component missing that makes someone become wealthy or not. And on the show, I will reveal what I found and give you the step-by-step actions to start investing in real estate and increase your wealth. My name is Araceli. Let's get started.
As a real estate investor, you probably already know what kind of strategy you're going to be following. And the majority of the things that we discuss in this channel is to do either a fix or a flip, or you can have a buy and hold property in which you're going to be renting it over time. And depending on your strategy, if you are doing fix and flips, a property manager, it might not be needed. You may need a general contractor to go over the property and make sure that the work is completed. But that is for a very short period of time. In contracts with a property manager, you're gonna need that on an ongoing basis. And basically this property manager, and they range from many different levels. So one of them, they just might be when they're needed to do some repairs or maybe collect the rent, depending on what level you want them to be responsible for. And also if you're going to be doing some of it yourself, maybe you just want a handyman to help you with the repairs. So all of that you should be looking at the beginning of your real estate investing. And also if you have a rental that is farther away from you, and I'm just talking about maybe farther than an hour, which is, you know, a little bit inconvenient and something goes wrong and you have to go and visit the property. That's when the property managers come from. And also if you do have more than one rental, especially if they are in the opposite side of the city. So that's why it's important for you to look and hone in into your strategy to make your life a lot easier. So when I got started, and this was my first taste at property managers, is that I actually bought a property from a property manager that it was farther away. And in my case was in a different country. I live in Canada and I started buying properties in Ohio in the US. So therefore, even though it's not that far away from me, about 5 hours, I still needed somebody to be responsible for placing tenants, for managing the repairs that needed to be done, and the same, any type of complaints or anything that the tenant wanted to address, I had to go through them. And as an inexperienced real estate investor, I trusted that the property manager was going to do the work. And that is not what happened. So I had a really bad taste in my mouth from that relationship. And it almost really took me out of the game because I didn't know what to look for in a property manager. I ended up selling one of the properties that I bought through this property management company because the repairs that were done were really bad. And you don't want to be in that situation because I think it reflects the type of individual that you are. And I want to make sure that my rentals are up to par and that they're practical and they're clean and that people are going to be living in a place that they are proud of and that they want to call home. So those are the characteristics. If I cannot live in the property, then that property is not fit for anyone to live in it. And that is just how I go by. And to go back into it, so when you have a rental property, you really depend on that income coming into you. So you want to make sure that you take the right steps to find that property manager that is going to take care of the property properly for you. So if you hire the wrong person, it can lead to increased vacancies, maybe because the renter is not getting a hold of the property manager and they're not getting their concerns taken care of. And therefore you're going to be losing rent, because if you have a renter that is disgruntled, it's most likely because they're not getting their questions answered in a timely manner. And if you do have something that needs to be addressed or repaired in the property, the renters need to be able to find that property manager and get an answer quickly. So that is for that. So the same, if you are vetting a tenant to come into your house and live there, you want to do the same thing with property managers. So the first thing that I would recommend on how to find a good property manager, if you are out of state or out of town or somewhere that is farther away, you need to find somebody that is local. So the first thing is you need to ask for referrals. If you have a realtor that is working with you in that particular area, talk to them, because they might already have providers that they trust and that they can refer you to, and they can really give you an idea of what is required and what are they going to need and how much they're going to charge you, and that they are reliable, that they have been in business for a while. Do also a research online to make sure that this company is there, and that if they have any ratings or some kind of complaints, you can see them really quickly online. And the third thing that I recommend is that you actually go and visit the properties that they manage. That is super important, because you will take a look right away if the property is well taken care of, or there is garbage everywhere, the walls are not maintained properly, they're painted, they're old. You will tell right away how the properties have been managed, so you can get a taste of what that property management company will do for your properties. And the fourth thing that I can recommend is, if you can, speak to tenants. If you are considering to hire a property manager that is renting not only single family homes, but also they are managing buildings, go to the buildings and knock on doors and ask how they are replying back to the tenants. How often do they get in touch with them? What is the avenue to get a hold of the property manager, and how quickly they respond? So that is super important, because then you will know that your tenant will be taken care of properly. You can also find out if the tenants feel that their complaints are addressed in a timely manner, and how long it takes for the maintenance issue to be resolved, if they have had any. Ask if the building is quiet, and if they have any problems with other tenants. And if one of the big questions is, are they planning to sign a new lease when it comes for renewal? So when you have a few people that you had referrals from, then you want to interview them in person and ask them several questions. First of all, about their experience and education, including local and federal landlord-tenant law, because that it's going to give you a very good indication how long they've been in the business and how they can actually treat the tenants, that, especially the ones that are not paying. How is their eviction process work? What would they do? And so on. The next thing is you want to know what is the fee structure. And the fee structure could be usually structured by a percentage of the gross rent. Some other property management companies, they will ask you to have a retainer with them for minor repairs. And this varies from $1,000 to maybe $5,000, depending on the property type and the state of the property as well. In some states in the United States, in order to be a property manager, you must be a realtor. So you need to check that the local laws in your area to see who can be a property manager and what kind of licensing they need. And one final question that you could have for a property manager is if they are involved themselves into the actual repair. Maybe they are licensed in a trade, like maybe they're electricians or maybe they're general contractors. They could be plumbers, etc. So that is actually a really good indication that a property manager could work well for you because they already know some of the issues, and maybe they started that way and then they started managing properties. So that is what I recommend that you do in order to find a really good property manager if your strategy is buy and hold. So I hope this helped, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for being here on the show. Please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when there are more shows available. And if you would like to have more information on how to start investing in real estate, please visit my website at www.aracelihernandez.com. Thank you.